You're on a train. Day 1 of 4. At the very start, this train has just left.
And
You have made some decisions on how to best accommodate that trip.
Up the rail, going down the track.
Mhm.
this is a really weird version of the I'm on a boat song. Sorry, that's what my bit was. Yeah, keeping an eye out actively.
Walking our routes.
As long as we keep to them and keep in contact, should go smoothly.
Okay. Yeah, this really fucking derailed everything. All right.
Derailed.
I get it.
It did. It just did. I don't know what else to say. Like, it sucks. All right, get rid of
I mean,
this.
if you don't think it's, I mean, we can put things a pause for the
Yeah,
evening. Like if you,
I don't know. I don't know how I'll get it fixed. So
Okay.
it's a whole thing. My eyes cannot see on this picture, which didn't seem like a problem before, but now that I'm even making it huge to try and attempt to count what's here, it doesn't want you to. Like, there's a lot of brightness for lighting on it, and it shines out the white grid that they put on it.
Oh,
For whatever fucking unearthly reason you choose to do that on a battle map, a gridded map. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just not great. So, in lieu, cool. So some folk you've been given seats, I think I told you, in the standard car, should you choose to use them. And some people decided to go sit in the steerage. And I know you're talking about doing rounds, but I'm not exactly clear on how that's supposed to be working for you. Based on your own plans, is what
Was it that, well, Brian and I, or the sheriff and I, were in our seats and then walking one way while one of them, like one person from each group, is walking towards one in opposite ways, and then loop the whole train, right?
And we're doing that every, I believe, half hour, something like that. And we're taking turns thereafter.
Okay, why don't y'all, whoever's doing this walk, give me some perception checks or investigations, keeping your eyes peeled for anything weird.
I'll take first one.
I assume that's what you're doing is... Oh, fuck, this map got fucked. Oh, well.
You want first or second, Sheriff?
I'll take the first.
Alright.
Now I can't find the fucking book I want. Cool, that's what I wanted. And, okay. Is this just Tower making the rounds only?
And Sheriff, right? You said first?
Yep.
Oh yeah, go ahead and make a perception or investigation check as well.
Oh, right.
And this is off of this. And this is off of this. Tower, as you kind of make your way through some of these higher end cars, you do see what the one thing that sticks out to you on your perimeter patrol is it does seem to be an older human gentleman with like a book in hand who seems to be grumbling about anything and everything that he can. Kind of the people around him are getting increasingly annoyed, but that's about it. Sheriff, what was that? And for the sheriff, the thing that you notice, especially as you get up into the steerage there where you and Aaron Noah are kind of hanging out. First of all, like I said before, this place has a bunch of cattle in here. You do see a tossing of adventurer kind of, huddled up in empty stalls here and there. The seating in this area is like all elven, and they are packed pretty tight in terms of, like, I think the best way to describe it is like coach or something, right? And what does stick out to you in this group as you go to get through the rest of the place is there is a nervous looking goblin. Seems to be passing out papers to people, but yeah, he seems to, like, how to describe that nervousness. It seems like he's expecting someone to have issue with him, but most people are paying him no mind because he's like passing out these little papers.
A fear of public flyer handing. Understandable.
But that's really the long and short of these early patrols as this train moves along, the slight hum of whatever's powering this machinery.
Perchance, what are the flyers for?
Oh, would you like one? Sure. You can easily get one. It's for some kind of improv troupe taking
Fucking
place
disgusting.
taking place in the city that you're on the way to, which I believe I said was. Let me just flip to it really quick. Rotograd.
I just suddenly have so much empathy for this NPC out of nowhere. I
The
don't
comedy
know
troupe's
why.
name. The
Couldn't
comedy
imagine.
troupe's name is in
Yeah.
fact No and,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Uh,
yeah. That's
Is this
it. Seems to be
anyone?
at some sort of establishment. It's going to require 2-drink minimum, but the popcorn is free.
So the 2-drink minimum isn't being enforced by the bar. It's just what you need. So the only thing worse than a comedian is a comedian without a plan. Not
Is there
out
anything
loud.
else that you want to? Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to take care of in this time that you're walking the train specifically?
No, I have no further plans. Just keeping an eye out. And that gentleman looks suspicious.
A little more description of him. He seems fairly well dressed, a little bit better than some people that you encounter on a daily basis. Seems to be a little more business casual, but certainly in his twilight years.
I'll just have to report him to my fellow people to keep an eye out for. Doesn't seem like he's after what we're looking after so far, anyway. But could be a problem nonetheless. I will do that.
And just for seating arrangements, when you're not patrolling, I would say that for those in the steerage with Ursula stuff, you're probably, unless if you want to be in the seats, you're going to be cramped in with the elves. If otherwise, you could probably find space in a stall way to sit and chill out. That's up to you. And the other two, your seats are among the populace. You are sitting across what looks to be a young woman, like tightly wound into a dress of some kind, corset and all, hat, little purse as well, little clutch. Anyways, that's what you're kind of with, if you will. Okay, cool. And that would be the. I don't know that we need to go half hour by half hour. But I would say that you pretty much have the ability to get up and move around this train, do whatever you want to do, and then periodically say like, "Hey, I'm doing my rounds. What do I see?" or something like that, or I'll do it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd probably
Between
be boring
rounds.
if I made you do every 30 minutes of this trip for 4 days. That would be quite insane.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be long.
I mean, between times, I would, take care of Ursula, make sure she doesn't get too restless. Maybe give her a little wrestle in the space we have. And, tend to Aranoa as well if she has needs.
A thing I'd like to do on my patrols. My gem is the gem of seeing is good for 3 charges at 10 minutes apiece. I would like to going one direction through the train. I would like to have the gem active on one of my patrols, just to make sure that the people here are who they appear to be.
Okay, gotcha. And I got a little bit lost by that dump. Meaning, okay, you have 3 charges on that device, and you want to use one periodically to see if people are who they say they are. Correct?
Right.
I get that correct. So I would say that the first charge that you use, everything seems fine. You could feel confident that if someone on this train is going to mess with it, they will be who they say they are, or they ain't on the train yet. I don't know why I keep trying to fucking salvage this. I don't think there's a fucking hope for me. This is going to take hours to fix.
The
Really
sad
want
thing
it
is,
to.
like, none of us are seeing it at all, but I know the struggle that you're dealing with. It's just not being
It's
able to
just
see it or help.
it doesn't want me to even touch it now. Like it's not letting me grab it to even to fuck with the size of it or anything. It's just such a pain. I've had this picture for so long too, and I'm like, that will be great when that time comes. And it
Is it
just don't want
possible
do
to
it.
just not set it as a grid in Roll20? Just take the grid off, and we
You
can
wouldn't
move our
you wouldn't be able to
tokens
see anything.
as anything.
Like like the grid would be like trying to move your token on the
Oops.
grid and stuff. It would just be hell.
Right. We would need to use the function move stuff. Like we'd need to count the squares as opposed to use the Roll20 grid system.
Ugh.
Yeah, it would suck, but we would still be able to use the picture in that case. I don't know. Workarounds.
Yeah. It's something that I can resolve. I'm sure. but not something that I feel like I can resolve now. Unfortunately, it's just so fucking stupid. Unless I just finally fixed that. But what I didn't fix is the bottom. I don't know. Okay, yeah, but cool. So we've had some of that.
And in future patrols, assuming that other people would be looking more at the people, Tower would be looking for if somebody were to infiltrate this train from the outside, what weak points might they be able to enter from?
Okay. Do me another look-see-loo.
I will do a look-see-loo.
So, using that time to look through that, you would know immediately because you can't even access it. There's just this big solid door in the standard car to the helm that they ain't coming from there. There are doors to the exterior that open when you dock with the place in the standard car. There's also some in the first class car and the steerage as well. Obviously for the animals and as well as the cargo, there seems to be a heavily fortified, almost safe-like opening on that car that seems to allow them to haul those goods with ease. Everything else seems to be just windows, which seem to be pretty thick paned for the most part. They don't. It's the train is traveling so fast that they are not windows that are openable. And the speed would also tell you that something would have to be traveling equally as fast to be able to even attempt to board this train while in motion, and that rules out a lot of things.
But it does not rule out teleportation.
Because while on the inside of this train, it feels normal and fine. Like, you do feel motion, but it's smooth for the most part. It's not jarring you too badly. When you look out the window, it's like a blur.
Interesting stuff.
Magic is weird.
Yeah, what is the feet per round speed on this thing? Or is it too much to calculate here?
Let's go with that. It's fast. It's traveling thousands of miles. This journey is would take months for you to make, perhaps, from Mayfield, right? And by horse, and it's going to take 4 days.
Wow.
I was just checking to see if this is actually... Oh, this does give me a time which doesn't sound quite as fast as I'm making it. So I'm going to say it travels at around 100 miles an hour. That
In a
doesn't
straight
sound fast
line,
enough.
though.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fast enough. Don't worry about it. It's fast.
Yeah. We've never seen nothing that moves 100 miles an hour. Like, we don't have
that's
cars.
not fast enough
That's
to travel
super
thousands.
fast.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
hear what you're
saying.
saying.
It needs to be faster for what I just said, but yeah, you get it. This is the modern age, my friends. This is the future. Horses be damned. I hate you, Roll20. I just do. I fucking hate you.
So what we're saying is that
There goes that sponsorship.
a horse with 2 levels in Rogue and fuck, what's the one spell? Longstrider is not keeping up with the train.
Not unless they're half tabaxi.
Well, the tabaxi thing only helps it keep up for 1 round.
That's impressive, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, it'd be a hell of an impressive feat. Sure.
I don't know. I'm just fucking about.
At any rate, after a couple hours,
I get it. At any rate,
the train does come to a stop at a little station. This is not Rovergrad. It's just a little waypoint. This is a time where folks can get up and stretch if they want, do what you will, and
I
new
think
people
at least.
might get on.
Oh yeah, at least one of
Sorry,
us should. Oh, is this just a very quick stop, or is this like a few hours, or like?
Usually about 10-15 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll take a quick lap during that time.
I will maintain vigilance.
I did it.
Yeah.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Oh, also, as long as we're here, might as well get everybody into the psychic chat.
Oh yeah, good call.
I'll stick with the goods during the crossover. Just during moments
Ooh.
of transition, things can happen.
Yeah.
So.
Excuse me. 6. Woo.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's what I like to see. What I really wish I had was another thing. Let's go ahead and tourist. What y'all? So you're staying on the train,
Hmm.
but
I'm specifically with the goods that we're here to look after, and we
Excellent.
got into the psychic lane.
I'll stand at a door where I can watch the people outside.
And I believe Aranoa said she was patrolling.
Yep.
gotcha. For the shits and grins, everyone just give me a perception or investigation, whichever you prefer.
Perception, advantage. Perception.
Pretty good all the way around.
Perception, advantage.
I'm just gonna quickly go a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Shaw, you quickly clock that gentleman that Tower was talking about. Still nose deep in whatever he's reading, screaming loudly at every page turn. Well, screaming loudly, so just yelling.
That's
Loudly,
hilarious.
Yeah.
This fucking page.
Yeah, but the contents of the page is what he's yelling about.
Is it concerning? Is it Can I tell? Is it disturbing other people?
Oh, certainly. Some people that were sitting around him when the train stopped quickly got up to take their walkabout for the time. And some people you can see are actually gathering some things to... not here. Never mind. No.
But
No, they're not.
our job is to protect the goods. Or
That is true. You're escorting those
okay.
goods to
And that-
Alentia.
And there are
And-
other employees on this train, right? Like attendants and stuff?
Indeed, yes. You are not.
Okay.
But you are secured
Oh.
mostly. You're making up the bulk of security. There's like 2 or 3 others, like the main person that kind of showed you around, and then 2 others that are taking care. Like they are in that the cargo area at all times. The reason why they're hiring you is to be able to move around this train.
Well, I'll say in the mind link, he's really disturbing people, but I don't know if that's in our job to talk to them. What do y'all think?
What is he shouting about again?
It was something about what he was reading, but I didn't catch the specifics.
Why don't you listen in a little bit, Straw, and see if you can hear what he's saying?
All right.
Picture the headlines. Local man yells at book.
Yeah, can I hear from here, or should I get a little closer to be able to distinguish what's being said?
Sure. So I know this is kind of like a slow down moment because I'm going to get to what each of you are able to kind of perceive in these times. So just
Yep.
know that this is all kind of taking place at the same time. But for the time being, this is Straw's little bit. Go ahead and make a. I mean, I assume you want to try and listen in without being.
Well, if I need to get closer,
Proceed.
then I'll just kind of like wander around the group, like not being obvious that I'm going to listen to them specifically, just like, moseying
Okay.
around.
What you're going to hear, the snippet that you get as you walk by is why is he so obsessed with Paige? Miss Davenport has been there by his side the entire time, but he's obsessed with Paige. I can't believe this. And now my neighbors are like, what the fuck are they doing over there? I've been thinking about that when we were considering moving and being like, oh god, what are our neighbors gonna think when I'm yelling shit? Anyways, that's kind of that's the snippet that you get from his barkings, his frustrations.
I mean, I don't think it's really anything to be concerned of. It's just kind of annoying. But like I said, I don't know if that's really within our job description to just do that, but...
Yeah, I mean, we're hired by the Adventuring Guild, right? Specifically to protect their tithe. This has nothing to do with that, from what we can tell, right?
It ain't strictly speaking our job. Now, common decency, on the other hand.
I don't like meddling.
Okay, so you're gonna leave him alone?
Yeah,
If it gets unsufferable, we might have words, but
if there's no real objections in the group, then nah.
Okay.
Seems perfectly
He
fine
does,
to
he
me.
does quiet down a little bit, though still seething with fanfic rage. I don't know.
all the times to not have calm emotions.
Yep. But Tower, you're on the train, right? Remind me. I'm sorry.
I am on the train, and specifically, I am where they are keeping the Adventuring Goods Guild. Sorry, the Adventuring Guild's goods.
Okay, so
Yep.
in the cargo hold.
Yes. Just because, while people are moving and transitioning, you never know, things can happen. So keeping an eye on the actual stuff we're here to look after, I think is a good idea during these moments.
Okay. As you go to walk into that space, because like I said, there's a big like reinforced door. There's someone there that will let you to and fro, but keep others out. You do end up passing by this kind of like weathered, warforged, kind of leaning against this long wooden quarter staff. And he's in the midst of a conversation, but the only other person anywhere near you is him. But he is holding what looks to be like a dagger in his hand. But like he's not holding it from like the handle, he's holding it from the blade tip in front of him.
BMR metals, so we're keeping series with mostly just get slightly funnier and shiny.
Am I supposed to be hearing somebody talking? I heard a voice.
No, I'm not sure what that was. That wasn't me.
Okay, got it. Right on. I thought you were like putting on like a recording of a Warforged voice or
No,
something. I was like,
no,
oh,
nope,
interesting. Okay,
I
cool.
didn't.
So
But if you did want to hear what he's saying, that's fine. But yeah, he's just kind of a weathered. He looks like an older model than you, but he's just sort of. He's wearing some like loose robe of some kind, just for like the feign of modesty. Is that the right word?
Sure.
He's just kind of using that as more support to stand up straight, but he seems to be intent on this dagger.
Yeah, an old Warforged talking to itself is a curious thing. So, yeah, Tower will wander over that direction, like pretty directly, not hiding that it's approaching, while keeping an eye on the door that it's going to as well. It knows it has a job to do still, but perhaps it could help this fellow construct. And as it's approaching, it will want to listen to what the actual conversation being had is.
As you get there, you come in halfway through a sentence, which is, "I told you, you have to ask for consent when you touch women. You are not supposed to just poke them. I do what I want, okay? That's not correct. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we bothering you?" He says to you.
Did not mean to bother you. It just appeared that you were having a conversation, and it appeared that you were at the same time alone. And
Sidebar, did that actually work? I couldn't hear any of it, so I'm just curious. Did my voice change multiple times?
No.
No? That's terrible.
Not in the way that you're implying.
We heard your voice.
That's sad.
I'm sorry. I assume that there was supposed to be a mechanical thing happening.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Because I wasn't
it
really putting anything into it, because I figured it was being taken care of for me.
Oh, okay, but that's interesting. Okay, because my question is, was I hearing two voices coming from the same place then? Or was I hearing two voices coming from, one from the Warforged and one from a different place?
Uh-oh, hold on. Can you hear me? Am I coming?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fucked something up. 1 second.
All right.
1 second. Oh, no. Hello?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I fucked something up. I needed to jump back. I didn't hear. Okay, so you're hearing me.
Yes.
Is it different now?
Yes.
Okay, this is the Warforged.
Okay.
This is the other voice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
to recap, the conversation was, I believe, the tape will call me a liar.
I've told you before, you have to ask consent before you touch women. You're not allowed to just poke them.
Do what I want, buddy.
That's incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Are we bothering you?
That's what's supposed to happen. What was your question?
My question is, that secondary voice, did I hear that coming from the Warforged, like they were talking in a secondary voice to themselves, or was that voice emanating from a different place?
That
perhaps?
voice was emanating from the dagger in their hand.
Yep. That was my suspicion.
Okay, now that we've got that settled.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, you weren't bothering me at all. I was just approaching because you appeared to be having a conversation and I saw no other people about. And generally, when that happens, there tends to be problems. So I was here to help with whatever problems you may be having.
You mind your own business, fucker.
Sorry. My friend is a complete jerk.
Well, sure. I believe that is the personality of most weapons.
I believe you.
It's so you have a weapon that, if I hear correctly, is attacking people of its own volition.
Attack is one word, yes. He's a little handsy.
Right, but
That's
for a
what I like.
for a weapon to be handsy, the thing that it interacts with the world with is generally the pointy bit. So that's a concern. That's a concern.
I agree.
Come on, let's go to the dining car. I want to watch you eat.
We don't
Go ahead.
have to eat.
I want to watch.
I'm going to put you away now.
No, not the box, not the box.
You see them pick up a little wooden box and like put them back in and latch the top, and you can still hear some mufflings. Like that's about it.
Yeah, we didn't hear any of that. Yeah, the
Okay,
mufflings.
my headset is too good, but there's a muffle sound.
Sure.
Of that same voice squeaking from inside, but the words just don't make sense.
I think I'm going to keep them contained for the rest of this trip.
That is probably for the best. If there's any further issues, we may need to do something further about your friend there. We can't have any personalized objects going around attacking random people now, can we?
I completely understand. In truth, he's a lot more bite than anything else.
That is worse. Right?
I guess
Am
so.
Well, I hope to have more pleasant conversations with you, and I hope that your friend causes no further trouble to yourself, even in the future.
It's purely psychic.
Indeed. But those are often the deepest cuts of all. I do have a job to continue on with. Have a pleasant journey.
Thank you. You as well.
I will. And Tower walks away.
And you find yourself surrounded by treasure as the doors close behind you. One other guy in here kind of looks up from a newspaper with some glasses on the edge of his nose and kind of gives you a hand signal of, hey, what's up? Goes back to his reading. Pretty cake work so far, as far as that gentleman is concerned.
Sure. But now Tower has another thing to keep an eye out for, GD it.
That would bring us to Flint, wouldn't it? Where's my little doohickey? Oh, no.
Personalized objects. Impersoned objects? Objects that are people? That's what I was getting at. Doesn't matter.
Sentient weapons.
Sentient weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sentient objects is more what I was. Yes, but weapons.
Where did you go, Flint? I'm sorry.
I was maintaining vigilance in my area.
Being still on the train in the lower decks, if you will, lower cars, or what was your area?
I'm just gonna keep watching over in that region.
Okay, you kind of round not really a corner, it's a train. So you kind of like, as you're going to pass through back into the steerage portion from kind of walking around as people are kind of up and a lot more lively than when the train's moving, just because as you kind of get to that passway, you do see a attendant from the galley with a cart of food that's kind of coming down, but they have stopped midway to the door and they are like locked in conversation with what looks to be an elven gentleman. Just confirm my suspicions here. Yes, they seem to have like a almost looks hand carved lute kind of draped around their back, and they are in what looks to be a intimate but elevated conversation of like they look agitated with one another, but it's not a huge scene. It's just like a murmuring. They're trying to keep it down for sure, but they seem to be having a back and forth there.
Two people bickering and trying not to have a scene.
Yeah, I feel like I'm accidentally giving you the impression that it's romantic. It's not. It's more of like it's a squabble of sorts between two people, but they're actively trying to not cause a scene.
Platonically bickering.
Sure. And as you kind of approach their space, let me see. Let me just see if they'll be even aware of you. The person that's the worker, the galley member with the cart, kind of clocks you as the elven individual is like kind of like under breath berating them, and they kind of just quickly turn back to that person and say, "Back to the steerage with you." And the person looks around like, looks at them like, "What the fuck?" And then looks past their shoulder, sees you, and just turns tail and starts walking back steerage.
I know you mean it in a different sense, but every time I hear somebody clock somebody, I assume there's like
Okay.
throwing fists.
I'm talking about, yeah, I get that. I mean clock as in you clock this, right? You spot it. You see it. But yeah, don't worry. I will tell you when someone punches somebody. I'll make sure you understand.
No, I get it. I'm just very entertained by the alternative.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a fucking saloon brawl on the entire train.
Oh, it's tempting.
All right, so the guy with the loot is heading back into the steerage.
Mm-hmm. And unless you do something to actually stop them, I mean, they will make it to the door because they're closer to the door than you are. You know what I'm saying? You've got like an aisleway that's maybe like 5 to 7 feet wide between seating, and they're kind of taking up a portion of it, just a little ways from where you spotted them and they're spotting you.
I'm not going to stop anything. If anything, I'm going to look slightly more confused than anything. If
Mhm.
they're making their way back there, I will let them.
Okay. The other person is going to start pushing that tray cart towards you as if to leave this car, because it would never go to the steerage. Anyways. And that's something you've noticed. Doesn't seem to be any snack service down in the steerage.
Good
I
thing the
know
two of us
this
who don't need
correct.
to eat are there.
And that would have been the sleeping car that this happened. I'm going to move you guys to this page, even though you can't really see beyond the outside of the train. I just want you to be able to see like car to car.
Yes.
Right?
Please. Thank
So
you.
it goes, for me, it goes helm, standard, galley, dining, first class, sleeping, steerage, cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's so basically it's a dining cart. We've got food on there and whatnot.
The cart, yes. It's basically like the Harry Potter sweets tray. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a bunch of little, it's small bites that are all compiled on here, and like there might be like a decanter of endless whatever that's under the drapery of this little cart.
All right. Well, as long as it's here.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. How much stuff? I don't need any specifics, but how much stuff can I get for like a gold?
How much stuff can you get for gold?
Yeah, I don't know what the going rate is for dining on here.
You get handed back some kind of like packaged pastry thing.
Ooh, how many of those
That's
can I
it.
get?
One.
No, I mean like if I threw more money at it, how many are available? Can I get like 5 of those?
Yes, you can get like 5.
I'm gonna get like 5 of those.
You can just tell that it's a pastry inside by its feel. You are not really able to see what the contents of that is. Does that make sense? But
Yep.
It feels like a little round cake. You know what it actually kind of feels like as you feel it? If you've ever had like one of those little Debbie cakes, take your pick of which Debbie cake I'm talking about, and it's basically correct. Just like that 1.5 inch kind of sponginess.
Some sort
That's
of
kind of
sweet
how it feels.
roll.
Mhm. That's kind of how it feels in there. But you get the sense, based on what you were given and for what you were given, that this cart might be a little pricey as well.
All right. And you said that there were also drinks on here?
It seems like there could be.
I'd like to get 3 drinks of whatever is available.
Alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
1 alcoholic, 2 non-alcoholic.
Still or sparkling?
Well, you ask a lot of questions for somebody with drinks. I'll take a non-sparkling.
You see them pull out, like I said, these little decanters that they just start pouring. One looks to be like a whiskey. The other two seem to be some form of juice. 10 gold, please.
10 gold.
Damn.
Jeez.
All right, I pony up. Well, thank you very much, sir. And I'm going to
You're
start heading back the other way.
I'm just picturing these dwarven mitts, like trying to precariously hold 3 glasses of.
Fucking hilarious. Like the whiskey is definitely being held in my mouth at this point because that one's
Mhm.
definitely mine.
And because of, I don't know, forgive me, internet, if this is a little bit racist, but I just feel like as a dwarf and as the sheriff, you have a knack for sniffing out quality. It does seem like this is some really good whiskey from what you can, just from the way it's clearing your pathways of your nostrils currently.
And for what I paid for it, it better damn well be.
It smells smooth, if that's even possible. But yeah, you can definitely make your way back. The other seems to be some kind of orange juice liquid. Not orange juice, but orange in coloration.
Right.
You can tell right away it's not orange juice. The other one seems to be some kind of like reddish, apple-ish thing, but without. If you settle yourself and kind of inspect, seems to be some kind of tropical blend fruit in one and like a cran apple-esque thing in the other. It seems to be like you got poured mixers.
Packs a punch.
I wish I had a snare drum on here. I think I do, but by the time I find it, the joke is dead. Cool.
So as I'm passing through there, I would like to stop back to the guy who's been shooed out of the other car. I will make an offer.
I was just gonna say, by the time you find him with that purchasing and all, you see him kind of seated, or not seated, but kind of leaned up against one of the stall areas, out, kind of just tuning it in, if you will.
All right, I stop in front of him. I make an offer of the one of the drinks and one of the various pastries.
Just make a persuasion here. Trying to figure out how a stranger feels about a stranger trying to give them treats like that.
One persuasion coming right up.
They take it from you. Thank you.
It seemed a mite rude just shooing a person out of a room.
Used to it.
Like you having a pleasant trip so far?
Kind of looks around the space filled with cattle and it is much more humid in this space than the space you came from, right?
Right.
And there is a certain odor that does kind of just faintly linger upon the not only hay but all kinds of things. As I said, this car is also full of adventurers as well, who don't usually end up smelling the greatest at times either. And the cattle and what have you, and just kind of surveys the area for a second and looks back at you. Good enough.
And mind you, this whole time I'm still awkwardly holding on to like a solid handful of pastries.
Yeah, they've noticed.
I gesture over to the. You said it was a loot on his back?
Yeah, that's a good point. 1 second here. Nope. I just wanted to see if any of the other patrons caught you like just handing out shit to this guy, but it seems to have gone unnoticed.
So
You gesture to the loot.
Yeah. You a musician?
I try to be. You a baker?
Sheriff by trade, actually. Sorry, I'm making this awkward. I'm just trying to make a little bit of small talk here.
I get it, he says with a mouthful of pastry, which you can now see some kind of like raspberry filling has started to slightly dribble over the edge of his lip there, and he kind of wipes it away. Pretty good.
It's like, I'm eager to taste one myself. I'm not typically one for sweets, but it looked good, and my various compatriots could probably use a bite.
Cool.
And on this awkward little bit of kindness, I think I'm going to head back into the back so that I can put all this crap down. And I'm going to let everybody in the mine chat know that I've got pastries.
Pastries in the break room.
And gosh,
It's like, I only got one more drink here, though.
It's all good. I think I'll be okay. But I appreciate the thought, Sheriff.
It's like, I think I figured out where the robbery is taking place. Turns out it's the dining car.
Whatever do you mean, Sheriff?
It's like, I spent 10 gold on 3 drinks. 2 of them ain't even alcoholic.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Fancy
As it-
juices, though, I have to admit.
As a former bar back, I am offended.
And Aranoa, this is all happening through the mine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys
Yeah.
are exactly together. Aranoa, where are you exactly? Are you still in the steerage?
No, I'm patrolling through the car or all through the cars to see if I notice any like suspicious movement going on. I figure if people are moving around, that might be another time to try to make some moves. I also am gonna cast detect magic on myself, or just in general, I guess, on myself, and just keep an eye out for things that glow.
A lot of shit glows here on people, the train itself, on like around some doorways.
What doorways?
Like especially the cargo doorways, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Some of the pass throughs. It just seems like this train is certainly enchanted heavily to even operate. But like people's personages, like you're not seeing people like armed to the teeth or anything like that. It seems like maybe
Yeah, I
that's
guess
locked
that's
up
more what
elsewhere.
I'm looking for is anyone who's like glowing in a sea of like little stars, you know, like someone who's just covered. Because I feel like if someone was trying to hold up a train, they would come prepared.
Fair enough. Most people, when you get to the sleeping car areas, you can see that there are various pockets of little glows. And when you get into the first class, especially, you see a lot more glowing on people. But it seems to be jewelry and trinkets and things where it's not like blades and shields and such like that. Nothing like that really. But certainly those pockets of the train are more heavily sparkled than others. And even getting back to the standard car around where the others sit, you can see that girl that I described earlier sitting across. She has like a glow around her neck and a glow around her finger. She's kind of just excitedly looking out the window. But one thing as you make your way back from all that, getting into the dining car, kind of patrolling and seeing who's going and what's going on, something that snaps your attention from that, you hear a noise of hey, and you turn and you see this older tiefling looking individual. They're missing their right arm, is kind of like has a stump there, and he's got a warforge by the robes staff fallen to the ground. Did you just touch my ass? And he just clocks him. I did that just for you. Straight across the face and lays him out on the ground. Nobody touches my ass. And I think that's where we'll stop now because I see it's 9:23.
Oh, good times. Yeah.
What car was that in?
The dining.
Okay, that's what I thought.
PD.
On the menu.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Why can't I pause? I do this and I do this.
So much fun. So many fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hang time in this game.